Hey guys, welcome back. It's Maverick here today with another episode of Owarimonogatari. I know, it's Tuesday, it's not Monogatari Mondays, but lately, schedules are a little bit fluctuating and whatnot. But anyways, beyond that, so at the end of last episode, we finally get to see the full face of the first, whatever you want to call it, the first aberration slayer, first disciple, first slave, if you will, first minion, whatever, right? And he's certainly he's certainly taking a very different shape than what we expect, or at least what I expected, right? Then again, due to his reincarnation, maybe he can choose whatever shape that he pleases, right? So maybe we don't really have to dwell too much on that, or it could be a possibility that that was his original shape, which that would definitely be quite the interesting thing, wouldn't it? But in any case, so we are going to see him confronting Araragi, and well, let's see what fireworks sparks from there. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. What is with this guy's design, though? Okay. Yeah, definitely not beating around the bush. Like, did they purposely make him, like, much more feminine in design? I have to think that that's a possibility, right? Again, stemming from last episode, especially with the hints that Kambaru gave off as well, talking about her, BL light novels and whatnot. You gotta think if they were, throwing this curveball in to spice things up. Seriously, change his voice, and I could totally see him passing as a girl. All right. Wow. So there's 6 parts to this arc. All right. Well, let's just see, right? I somehow feel like both sides aren't the full story, right?
じゃあどうするんだよ。国からは互いに褒め合うのか？それこそ目も当てられまい。だが、お主の代わりは誰にでもできるが、拙者の代わりは誰にもできぬよ。なぜなら拙者は特別だから選ばれた人間だから。憧れるね、そういうセリフ。一度でいいから言ってみたいぜ。おこがましくてとても言えないけれど。
Breakup. But well,
それを純愛だって思っているのかもしれないけれど、お前みたいなのを現代社会でストーカーで。
yeah, and a pretty bad stalker at that.
敵から出された飲み物を疑問なく飲もうとしてんじゃねえよ。
Oh yeah.
清水なんか飲まされたら、たとえペアリングが切れてる今でも
Hmm.
ひとたまりもねえぞ。
Yeah, we saw him before, right? With Hanekawa. That was a long time ago, though. During Hanekawa's meeting with Cyan? With Gaian?
怒るなよ、ハートアンダーブレードの眷属。買いたい字の不意打ちも立派な作法の一つだぜ。
Which would be?
決闘でござる。今夜殺し屋を。細かい段取りはそちらの専門家陣に任せるわ。それまでに拙者は拙者の状態をできるだけ
And why would they uphold it? Raw donuts book. Ah, the contents of the bag.
僕が来た時にはもうああなっていた。ああなってたって。
おい、船の度胸は認めてやる。このわしを相手に一歩も引かんその蛮勇は、なるほど我が主様の後輩といった感じじゃわ。じゃから、ここは感情的にならず500年生きた大人としてガキに寛容になってやる。さっきの発言を取り消すというのならば、ここでのやりとりはなかったことにしてやってもよい。謝れば許してやる。
取り消さない。謝らない。何度でも言う。忍ちゃん、君は会うべきだ。初代怪異殺しに会うべきだ。400年がかりで蘇ったかつてのパートナーと会わずに済まそうなんだ。
She has a point, Shinobu-chan.
とても良くないことだ。それは正しくない。
何を言っておるのかさっぱりわからんな。人間の分際でわしに説教をしたいというのであれば、少しくらい論理立ててしゃべれ。
論理なんて知るか。つべこべ言わず会えばいいだろうが。400年がかりで君に会うためだけに復活した男だぞ。どうして会ってやらないんだ。
じゃからそれはうぬの誤解じゃと言っておろうが、そんなくだらんエモーショナルな理由であやつは復活したわけではないわ。散った灰が風でより集まって磁石のように冷気しただけの自然現象じゃ。
誰かが誰かを好きになる気持ちだって自然だろうが。誰かが君を好きな気持ちを否定するな。
だからんやつじゃな。そういうのではないんじゃって吸血鬼の眷属は。
Well, for you, maybe, but if so, then you still need to, like, gently let the other party down.
主従関係は好き不好きではない。それを君は荒木先輩の前でも言えるのか。
あの時我が主様に言うた通りじゃ。今のわしにとって眷属と言える相手はうぬの先輩しかおらぬ。今のわしには。
忍ちゃんは私の言ってることがわからないと言うけれど、私にわからないのはその辺だ。私が気に入らないのはまさしくその辺なのだ。まるで眷属が一人しかいちゃいけないみたいな言い方じゃないか。例えば忍ちゃんと荒木先輩とその初代怪異殺しと3人で仲良くやっていくという想定はないのか。
3人でってなんじゃ。仲直りをすればいいとうぬは抜かすのか。
仲直りするかどうかはどうでもいい。もしも忍ちゃんが初代怪異殺しよりも荒木先輩を選ぶというのならそれでいいんだ。それを相手に伝えるのは忍ちゃんじゃなきゃならない。いずこさんや荒木先輩に任せるべきじゃない。
うぬは何も分かっておらん。わしとあやつとの関係性を、いや今現在のわしと我が主。
And that's precisely why you're the only one that can do anything about it.
知らない。でも私にはわかる。初めての気持ちも2番手の気持ちも。
Senjugahara?
初代怪異殺しの気持ちの方がわかるのだ。純愛のごとき編集の気持ち。
今さらあやつに会ったところでかけてやれる言葉なんぞないぞ。現実を見ろ猿娘。今やこの町に蔓延する怪異譚そのものとさえ言えるあやつは専門家の餌食になるしかない。
わかってる。だから
なおさら会ってやるべきだと。あの男はわしを恨んでおるんじゃぞ。会えばわしは殺されるかもしれん。妖刀を返せと言っておるらしいが、
Oh no shit. She's an aberration. Though I do have to wonder though, like why the other specialists don't just
なぜ恋人つなぎ
おっと間違えたぜ戦場ヶ原と
最低
don't just put him down.
もうちょっとだけ待ってくれおののくちゃん
なんでやばいよもう
それでもだ
遺言はそれでいいのか？全てを台無しにしてもウヌの頭をこのまま潰してやりたい気分じゃわい。
やれよだったら私は謝らない。やって今度は荒木先輩と気まずくなればいい。きっと今初代怪異殺しを避けているように今度は荒木先輩を避けるんだろう。今彼を過去の話にしたように将来荒木先輩のことも昔話にすればいい。君は一人目を捨てるようにいつか二人目も捨てる。一人目に向き合えない君が二人目に向き合えるわけがない。三人目も四人目も五人目も永遠に人と別れ続けろ。
永遠に。
不老不死なんだろう。いつか言ってたよ荒木先輩が。忍ちゃんが明日死ぬなら僕の命は明日まででいいと。だけどきっと君はそんなことは言わないな。言ったとしても同じことを3人目にも言う、4人目にも言う、5人目にも言う。いつまでも言い続け、いつまでも生き続ける。
誰もが己のように社交的だと思うなよ。さっきわしを人見知りとまとめてくれたが、誰かに会いたくないという気持ちだって自然なものじゃろうが。
それは不自然だ。人と人とは合わないことはあっても合わないことは
I'd say it's a natural reaction if you don't want to see some people. But that's kind of beside the point here.
わしはあやつに何を言ってやれるわけではないのじゃぞ。憎み合って別れ、憎み合って死に別れた関係じゃ。よりを戻すつもりもなければ3人で仲良くやっていくつもりもない。1人目と2人目を並べて語るつもりもない。比べること自体、我が主様に失礼じゃと思っておる。わしと我が主様が仲良くしておるところを見せつけて、それで何の意味がある。今やあの男にわしが何の気持ちもないことを見せつけてどんな意味がある。そんな残酷なことをしろというのか。
ああ、残酷なことをしろと言っている。昔の男を傷つけるのが君の仕事だ。君は人に好かれてその上いいやつでいたいのか。愛されたままで終わりたいのか。
ウヌの言っておることは、風化や摩耗させるくらいだったら破壊してしまった方がいいと言っておるようなものじゃぞ。
言っているんだ。だから
奴がわしを恨んで殺そうとしておるのであれば、わしはあやつを殺し返すことになる。それでもいいのか。
それでもいい。その時は憎しみという気持ちに応えてやればいい。その思いを断ち切ってやればいい。だけど謝って許してくれたならその時は。
その時だって同じことじゃ。わしを許した直後にあやつは専門家に退治される。それでもいいのか。
それでもいい。
At least they'll help him pass on, I guess.
ウヌのアホな予想通り、あの男がわしを思って復活したのだとしても、わしがその思いに応えることはないぞ。わしがあやつに会ってできることは、こっぴどく手ひどく振るだけじゃ。それでもいいのか。
それでもいい。
わしがあやつに会って、もしもその思いに応えたくなったらどうする。わしがウヌの先輩よりも初代怪異殺しを選んだらどうする。それでもいいのか。
それでも
Don't eat.
その時は荒木先輩ときっぱり別れて彼と永遠に添い遂げるがいい。
僕は押野忍が1対1で負けたのを初めて見た。小野のくちゃん、お願いがある。このスタンプ外してもらえるか。
それを外しちゃったらもうここから先あなたの安全は保証できないよ。
決闘ってやつしてみたいんだ。
So why are they dueling? I don't. I can understand everything about, like what Kambaru was saying, right? And certainly, if we take out the sort of aberration stuff and whatnot, and look at this just as a pure human relationship, it makes a lot of sense, right? But beyond that, like, so is waiting for Shinobu's resolve in regards to the first, is that what Guyan and the others are also aiming for? Like, is that their sort of sympathy towards the situation?
荒木先輩さっきまでそこで見てたんだから
I thought that was obvious too. How can Shinobu not notice? There's no effing way she didn't notice. Is she going to change directly here? Okay. 'Why though? I don't understand. What does this situation have to do with Araragi? That's my whole question about it. Ugh. Alright, I'll see you guys after this. Well now, that was an interesting episode. I quite like the dialogue back and forth between Kambaru and Shinobu there, and I have a feeling that probably lots of people liked it as well. The sort of righteousness that's coming out of Kambaru. There's a saying that I actually really love as well, which is you know, if your words are if you it's more of an idiom, I guess you could say, a Chinese idiom. It kind of goes, I'm paraphrasing here, and that is, if your words, if you ask yourself deeply and you understand that, and you're convinced that what you're doing is correct, that you're on the path of just and righteousness, then even if you're facing an army, there would be no, you know, you can take on an entire army with no problem. However, if you look within yourself and what you're thinking, you know, your logic is unjust or you know, it's not righteous, it's not right, then, you know, even a simple like farmer who would you know, you would be afraid of even a simple farmer, basically. Does that kind of make sense? I know it doesn't sound as badass when you translate it into English, but that's a general idea here, right? So if you truly believe that what you're saying is right, then you would have the courage to say it out loud. Of course, better said than done, but still, that's the feeling that you get there, right? The flow, right? The aura of righteousness that is flowing from Kambaru there, which is, during that entire scene, what I wasn't really paying that much attention to the contents of it as much as I was actually wondering, you know, is Kambaru actually the voice of righteousness and reason within the series? That's what I was thinking about, right? Because certainly, you know, it does seem weird in a lot of ways that it's her saying it, but I guess, you know, it's sort of like combining with her own past experiences as well. Although I guess, with her solo arc, right? I guess she is the one with righteousness, in her heart or something like that. I don't know, maybe. I just found it kind of interesting, right? And the reason I didn't pay too much attention to contents is because, I feel like, as I was saying, if this was just a normal human relationship, this is basically like a relationship advice 101, right? Well, then again, they are, technically high schoolers and whatnot, so maybe this is sort of like a life lesson that needs to be learned and so on and so forth. And you see it in a lot of I guess not rom-coms, but in a lot of romance stuff, romance drama kind of stuff, to have this kind of discussion. You gotta not run away from the object of your affection or from people's love, but you need to face it head on and give them an answer, that kind of stuff. So once again, if this was just a pure human relationship situation, I feel like this is quite obvious, right? And but of course that doesn't take away from the back and forth and whatnot. I do like that a lot. I'm just saying that, from the words itself, it wasn't anything special, but obviously this is a different kind of situation to all that. And no, it's always nice to have these kinds of scenes. You always love it when you have this character who is speaking with pure righteousness, and most importantly, without any trace of hypocrisy, right? Because that often happens when you're trying to act out in the voice of justice and so on and so forth, right? Is there that little doubt within you, that little darkness within it as well? But I would say this one is quite straightforward and simple. Now, what is not straightforward and simple, though, is I still fail to see why exactly the situation turned out the way it is, right? The whole purpose of Shinobu and Kambaru's talk there is so, because the entire thing stems from Shinobu's own actions, right? She is the one who's supposed to take care of all of this mess, and so she should just go meet that guy and say what she has to say, and let the result speak for itself, right? Whether it's choosing the first, choosing the second, or I don't know, maybe they want to work out some sort of shared relationship. Who cares, right? That's for them to decide here. But this entire thing with a duel and whatnot, and okay, so before the duel, right, the specialists like Guyan and the others, what they're trying to do here, why do they need to have this why do they need to allow or even wait for this interaction between Araragi, between Shinobu, between the first before exercising him, right? Is this part of their sympathy, part of their, or is this the only, I guess this is the only way that that the first can truly be destroyed? But I don't know, right? So that's definitely another big question mark that I have, and that is why they want to make accommodation for this in the first place, right? Considering that they were supposed to get rid of Shinobu in the first place. Right, so that's kind of my question here. Why are they going towards this kind of roundabout way and putting in this many factors? I guess Guyan obviously has some ulterior motive behind all of this. Maybe it's for the good of Araragi, maybe it's for the good of Shinobu, and hey, maybe indirectly for the good of them, it also benefits the entire town, entire humanity, or something of that sort. But still, I'm quite puzzled as to why they are going along with this little lover's spat, if you will. And then that brings me to Araragi as well. In the end, why does he have to duel the first, right? You could go about it all gung-ho and all macho and say, oh, they're dueling for the affection of the girl's love. But that's not the point, right? And in fact, I do find that to be, I don't know, I've always thought that to be kind of weird in a lot of ways. It's not like Shinobu is something to be won, right? It's not like she's a prize that's supposed to be won, especially not in this kind of situation here, where because if Shinobu wanted to go, Araragi would definitely let her, right? Judging from what they're saying here, probably the first is of a similar, well, he might not go down easily, right? He might not let go easily, but I have a stinking suspicion that if Shinobu was to completely reject the first love and whatnot, he would probably go as well, right? So what is the reason for this duel in the first place? That's also a big question mark that I have, that I don't quite understand, right? Why it's not like when they're not under some contest, some tournament or whatnot. They're not under some sort of rules and regulations. It's not like Shinobu herself wants to be with the stronger guy or anything. So what is the purpose of this duel in the first place, beyond them trying to prove some macho-ness and whatnot? I don't know. You could look at it from a more romantic way and be like, oh, they're dueling for their loves and whatnot. But I just find the entire situation a little bit how can I say, pointless, question mark, or I just feel like there's a better way to resolve this whole situation here. But oh well, right. And by the way, I guess I don't know, it's kind of really hard for me to understand what exactly Araragi's relationship with all the other girls are, and particularly with Shinobu, right? It's, again, I've been saying back and forth that this is more so maybe the aberrations in this story are kind of like the metaphors or drawing parallels to some psychological problems, mental problems, or things of that nature, right? That you eventually grow out of as you come of age. I keep on saying that Monogatari, I feel like, is in its depths a coming of age story where you grow up and you mature along the way. So what exactly does Shinobu represent in all of that? I feel like that's the big question here. And definitely not really looking at this just from a pure relationship perspective, right? So basically what I'm saying here is that even whether we look at it from a relationship perspective, right, between humans and whatnot, or if you look at it from a more mental problem aspect of it, it doesn't make sense either way for Araragi to be dueling the first, right? Of course, it could also be, as I said, maybe I'm looking too deep into it, and it's just simply, the chivalrous thing to do, right? It's a good excuse to get out some action as well, but I don't know. I'm still thinking maybe this is going to end in a different manner than I was expecting, especially since the next episode is the last, so maybe the so-called duel or the so-called fight is going to be a farce ultimately, and nothing really much is going to happen out of it, right? Like that's not the main point. And if so, then I guess all my questions here would be entirely answered and justified, and then we shall see. But I mean, considering this happens in the past, right? Obviously, we all know who Shinobu chose at the very end here. So I feel like that is kind of a foregone conclusion, but still, it would be nice to see ultimately some sort of closure to this entire situation, and probably closure for all three of them in a sense, right? For the first, for Shinobu herself, and actually for Araragi as well, because right, if we are looking at this from a relationship perspective, right, you obviously don't want your girl to still be thinking about her ex. So anyways, that's it for this episode, and thank you guys. I will see you guys next time.